Hey guys, it's Pat. I am without my primary host, Willie G, this week, so I'll be going at it alone. Um, Maybe a few guest calls here and there, but yeah, let me try to take you guys through this one. Fun race, very hectic, very chaotic, very scary, and definitely learned a lot on positioning and how to get out of the horror and scariness of some of this, but luckily came out of it unscathed and a little bit mentally beaten, but all good. It was, yeah, a time nonetheless. But to kick us off, we actually had a little break this week. It was two guys, maybe almost a third, go up to the front. And honestly, it had me worried. Yeah, the group is really strung out here. I didn't know who these riders were, if they were super strong. But you can kind of tell even in that shot there that they are 50 to 100 meters already shot out of the gate in front of us. And, I didn't have any suspicion that people would work together to reel them back. And I felt like I was going to need to take some turns at the front to get them back and kind of put myself at the front early on and didn't know exactly yeah, whose wheels to be on and how to make my way to the front. I was hoping this guy would take me there, and he kind of was looking around a bunch, and he didn't really close the gap super well in front of him, and so I started to get anxious that him and I were going to get left behind, but inevitably this break comes back, and there was nothing that I really had to do in that moment to bring it back, but it definitely spiked the heart rate and caused a little bit of stress in the early minutes. I think everyone was kind of out of sorts in this first lap because of that. But shouts out to the moto guys, dude. They do great. They do this. I don't know if they have the same guys for every heat or whatever, but they are on these guys on the left. They've got a good follow cam. Yet to see any footage. I don't know if anyone wants to drop a little, little link in the chat on where I might find some footy. That'd be huge. Oh, dude, he is. I think this guy. I cut out the first part of the video, but I think this guy on the left in the white with the half flag at half mast blowing in the wind single pin number was kind of slowing us all up, so I think he came late and maybe pinned that on at the last second is my hypothesis. I don't know, not confirmed, but yeah, so I start to move through the field a bit, both front and back. Again, yeah, don't know any of these people. Didn't see my boy Danny, didn't know where he was at. David, Saul, they were here this week, so I'm kind of flying. Oh, there goes Danny. Speak of the devil. Kind of flying solo this week. Not that I have any teammates or anything, but just some guys I trust around. And there's obviously Ox, so some familiar faces here and there. But yeah, didn't really know this field and kind of felt lost and wasn't really in it this first lap and don't really know what I was thinking. And it's kind of funny to watch this footage back because I don't remember at all, and I don't remember making any good moves or being very conscious about which wheels to follow or my position in the pack. Like I kind of was just like, all right, let's survive. But that break is still 100 meters. Maybe that you can't even see the moto in the shot. I actually think the break here, I really don't know, but this might have been their biggest gap that they open up. It could be upwards of 200 meters at this point. I'm not sure. I think maybe we'll be able to see the moto go around the side here on that. This is just the follow cam moto, not the lead moto. But we might have a view of them momentarily here. And then there's the side Vespa. You just got a little clip of the Vespa here. I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, I'm just kind of surfing. And so some really interesting stuff starts to happen here. I think people started to realize that these guys are in the break and maybe weren't just going to go for one lap. In fact, I think they stayed away for at least two. But we go 5 or 6 wide through this corner, and that's scary. That's terrifying. Just looking at a whole field this wide. I think it's because people are sitting up or looking around, or some people have pulled their turn at the front, and I'm obviously not able or ready to do that sort of work. So I'm sitting in, but I figured if that breaks out there for lap 3 and 4, like I need my time at the front to bring him back. Like I'll work in there, but haven't seen it work in the previous weeks, and so didn't necessarily have a ton of conviction that it was gonna it was gonna land. But this group bunched up here in a really odd way, and I didn't really know it at first. But look at that guy, not right in front of me, but just to the left with the white stripe down his back, and the guy in the red here. I'm not really sure what happened, but you can kind of see them. I don't know if this guy in the middle got squeezed, but they touch. This guy goes down. He takes down at least 3 riders. The GoPro audio. I almost clipped that uh, signpost or whatever. Really lucky to make it out of that, but that had me absolutely spooked. And I have no idea what really happened, but we press on, and this honestly, and I really hope those guys are okay. But this was what snapped me into this race of just kind of feeling like not knowing where I need to be and could float around or whatever. But this woke me up. This is like, yeah, just turned on all the light switches. Crazy bad day of what's up, everyone. I've got oh, I realize I can't do a selfie cam here, but I have Brooke Bullington on the line.
Hey everyone.
I think
so.
so. Yeah, Brooke, we talked about my 7 subscribers last week, but for those of them that don't know you, Brooke is an extremely accomplished trail runner, adventure runner, Utah resident even.
I think I've run 2 races.
The life happens outside of races, and that's what I've learned, and we can go more into that as we go through this content here. But just a reminder to those 7 subscribers, if you want to be included on these calls, Brooke was actually our first ever request to be in the live footage. And just a reminder, if you guys do want to be included, text BALD to Sean Bradley BK at gmail.com. That's BALD. But thanks for calling in, Brooke.
So Pat, what's going on right here?
Sure thing. We actually just had a really bad crash on lap 1.
You crashed?
I did not. I'm in the thick of things, but I think a lot of the field got caught out. And look at this guy's little. How do you have a pinning strategy, Brooke? Like when you get a number or race bib, do you kind of do 4 pins or?
I do at least 3, but
3 asymmetrical pinning.
Yeah. I mean, if you have 3, you're pretty much set. But I feel like, I usually do 4 just for good measure.
Okay, this guy went with a very he went with 1. He went with the singular, and we don't have to talk about aerodynamics too much.
That's not aerodynamic.
Yeah, and as a trail runner, you should not know that better than anyone. But yeah, we're in the thick of things right here. We're on lap 2 of 5.
I think I remember last week Will commented there were a lot of people wearing pink.
A lot of people wearing pink.
I just want to say I see that again.
That is a common thread, and it happens to be the Samba team. And they roll deep, and they are consistent, and they take their turns at the front, and they are some hard workers and some good wheels to follow. So we Global We, Royal We, whatever, matriarchy. I like them, and I think they're good people in these races.
Next week, I think we need a fit check from you.
A fit check?
Yeah, pre-race. I want to know what kit you're wearing.
Oh, what my kit? Well, I actually kept. I didn't. For the viewers out there, I didn't actually wash my jersey from last week because I was so happy with my pin job that I couldn't. I mean, look, we got another flapper up here. Look at this guy.
It's same number every week?
Same number every week, yeah.
Okay, that's changed.
It's efficient. Yeah, they have these nice little cloth pins that I kind of feel like that's where my $30 goes to every week.
I see.
Brooke, let's talk about economics here. I know that's not exactly your PhD, but $30 a race. How does that compare to Utah trail running?
That's a really interesting question, Pat. I'm about to go tomorrow to the first of this weekly race series.
9x9?
7-mile trail run.
Oh.
And Wednesday nights. I think it costs $35.
Wow. And what do you get for that? A couple goos, maybe a picture with Sean?
I think you get some aid station stuff. If you do 8 races, you get a puffy jacket.
That sounds like a bad coffee shop punch card. Puffy jacket, though. That's pretty good.
It's actually kind of sick.
That's awesome. Brooke, did you have a bike? Did you do the bike tonight?
No, it's on Thursday. Yeah,
Whoa.
For everyone listening, I'm I'm a new Salt Lake City resident, and I learned about this cool bike thing on Thursday evenings where everyone meets at this one intersection and you ride around the city. So, gonna go there.
What steed are you gonna take, Brooke? Is it gonna look like these?
Oh, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be so competitive, Pat.
Is it what's the destination? Where do you guys hope to end up at?
You just go around the city. I heard that they, stop in some parks. For example, they stop in this one park where Sean and I often play pickleball.
Awesome.
And everyone just chills. Yeah.
Are you guys riding for a cause, kind of like an awareness of bikes in Salt Lake, or is it more of a social movement?
I think it's more of a party.
Whoa, party on wheels.
Yeah, I hear that people are drunk.
Whoa. Well, I'll tell you what, Brooke, back to the race here. And I'm not the best rider. I'll say it. That's why I am where I am today. But I think there might have been some drinking happening in the Peloton. There are some wheels that went quite astray from where I thought they were going. And ultimately, that's what caused the crash. Look, Brooke, we got a repeat customer. This guy, all these people do this. Nothing in his GoPro case. Nothing.
Oh,
He's just got a blank little boy there. I don't know what the... Will's going to love to see that. He lost his mind seeing all these people without GoPros. Yeah, we couldn't figure out if, a lot of people forgot to charge him or, what's going on there.
Maybe they just left him at home, by accident.
Yeah, but
wait. I have a race-relevant question.
Yeah,
here.
rip away.
I don't know if we talked about this, but
yeah.
What was the air quality consideration when you made your way out there today, Pat?
So let me ask what you know. Could you give our viewers, kind of the high-level stratosphere, I mean, no pun intended here, view of what you know about New York weather this week?
I just saw something that said breathing New York City air for 24 hours is equivalent to smoking 6 cigarettes.
Wow. I had not seen that news, but it was gnarly. I don't think my camera's going to do it justice here on this 8-year vintage GoPro from Girlfriend, but
I can tell. It looks bad.
Yeah, it was really odd. It didn't affect me. Brooke, you'll know that I spent 90 days out west for a brief period of my life, famously.
90 days.
And in those 90 days, I saw an AQI once in which I went biking of 410. And today's AQI was a 150. And so, not to say I'm, kind of acclimated to that, but I've seen worse. And it didn't really affect me. And my goal of this race, honestly, was to suck as little wind as possible. Hide behind other wheels. Don't really use my VO2 max potential.
Not really breathe.
But I think it probably messed some people up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure it does. I mean, because where I now live, we have bad air quality, and so I've asked around about it, and people say if it's bad, you shouldn't exercise outside.
Well, what does that mean for the Salt Lake summer?
So, we had it similar one day from the Canadian wildfires where it was, really hazy. And
no way. Am I sucking the same smog that you sucked?
This was, a week ago, though. So
but do you think it made easterly progress?
Perhaps. I'm not informed enough to know. Yeah, but I did run outside that day, but then I asked some people, and they said you should not if it's bad air quality, so...
They said...
I don't know. That's definitely something I'm concerned about in my future, or in my current city. So
yeah. I hear this summer it just starts to drop. But you got all this snow, so it's, kind of... quid pro, little tit for tat here.
So, Pat, I see you're kind of coming to the left here. It seems like...
Yeah, I was veering a lot. Didn't really trust the people around me.
So who's that? Oh, we've got camera people.
Yeah, dude. I commented that on minutes 3 to 4 this earlier session that you weren't in, but yet to see the footage from those guys. They're all up in my face the entire time, and I've yet to see their content. So, I'm not sure if it's they have a team and they'll watch back the footage week after week, but that kind of goes into the abyss. Oh, I think we've lost Brooke here, folks. I think it's probably to do with the air quality, the connection. All right. Giving you guys a little bit of raw footage there for the last 5 or 6 minutes. But yeah, nothing. I don't think anything really happens. I actually think there was a crash going into this last corner. I didn't see what happened, but it was just a little bit behind me. But at this point, I am trying to get into the top 8 or so wheels. Again, doing my cramming right before race day, reading Hal 9000's notes. He said be in the top 8, trying to be in the top 8. What else did he say? It was more of a yeah, it was definitely a textbook what I got from him today, but I'll get the cliff notes eventually. The cliff notes is top 8. So here last lap, I'm ready to take on some wind because I care more about getting in that top 8 than protecting my fitness, protecting what capacity I have left in my legs. And so I scoot up to the front and I see this guy to the right. And I don't know who he is, but he's got a nice bike, I'll say it. And he won last week. So I'm sitting there next to him thinking like, oh, this is the wheel. This is the wheel I need to take to the finish line. And I felt strong at this point despite having been into the wind for the last 800 meters or so. Like still not even on this guy's wheel yet. I've just been eating it up, hoping that I get lucky on a split, and there's the luck. There's the guy that goes. This guy was in a break earlier, the guy in the red that went. This guy in the pink tries to fall outside the wind. I know he's super strong, but I think he's going to tuck in behind me here. I don't really think anyone's behind me at this point. I think it's just us 5. Maybe there is. I don't know. This guy kind of looks up. Something happens. I try to sprint to get totally on his wheel. Chain dropped. Think it was mid-shift. Got up out of the saddle. Hit a bump. Chain dropped. Sitting in 4th wheel of the sprinters going in the last turn. You can see that the field's totally strung out. Like, felt really good about the positioning, but got a little bit unlucky. But feeling lucky to be alive. It was a sketchy race, and it could have been a lot worse. And I would rather get off my bike and flip my chain back on and do a couple pedal strokes to get it back on than be over the handlebars on lap 1, 2, or 3, or 4. So hoping those guys that did go over get a speedy recovery. It was honestly pretty scary out there today. The Doom Haze high AQI did not help either, but alas, we lived to see another day. So I don't know what the learnings are for this one. Honestly, I don't know how to stop that from happening. I think smoother shifts, less bumps, lower PSI. I don't know. There's probably some math to be done, but unfortunately, that's going to be a DNF for the boy. Did not fathom that this was possible. Bummer outcome, but we'll be there next week.